By the way, the Seahawks went out and got they got an over-the-top wide receiver from the Saints. And what's interesting here is every advanced metric right now has Sam Darnold number one quarterback in the league. And it's amazing. I never gave up on Darnold. I said when he came out, I said, he's not Andrew Luck, but he's going to look a lot like Andrew Luck. He does. Can be a little reckless, tough, physical, hard-working kid. But it's interesting. Baker Mayfield, when you talk about reclamation projects, Baker won a playoff game in Cleveland, and that year had a 98 quarterback rating. Daniel Jones reclamation project. Not only did he win a playoff game, but in a season, Kevin O'Connell went and got him. A lot of people like Kevin. They like Daniel Jones. People gave up on Sam Darnold. They absolutely gave up on Sam Darnold. And you start looking at this year and last year, I mean, if you just want to talk numbers, he's a top 3 quarterback in the league. Just sheer numbers, the ability to extend the pocket, great deep ball thrower. And their general manager, John Snyder, is one of the sharpest personnel guys. So they got JSN, they got the kid out of Colorado State, the rookie, who first made news when he beat Dion and had a big game. Now you come down, we're going to get an over-the-top guy for Sam Darnold. It feels like something to get a home run hitter. I don't know. It feels like something. Seattle and the Colts, their takeaway is, all right, we both have reclamation projects at quarterback, but Steichen obviously likes Daniel Jones, and Mike McDonald loves Darnold. So the Colts and the Seahawks made big moves today, and they have what are viewed as reclamation projects, not true star quarterbacks. Well, Darnold is a star, but it's hard to unsee the Jets, where he had a 77 passer rating and more total turnovers than total touchdowns. It's hard to unsee that. Jets are a big market. There's a lot of press. The ghost comment against Belichick. Seattle and Indy are saying, we got our quarterback. We don't need to draft a quarterback. We got our guy. That's what the real signal.
Yeah, it's so funny because I don't need to unsee it because it doesn't matter to me, because I don't live in the past. And the whole I'm seeing ghost comment was always so absurd. It's equivalent to me when you make fun of a basketball player for getting dunked on or whatever, being posterized. And it's just like, dude, like if you're playing tough defense and you're going for blocks, you're going to get done. I think Wembanyama actually just said that recently. And that's always been my take. Like, it's so dumb. If you're playing tough defense, like, yeah, they're going to dunk on you occasionally. Like, that's what's going to happen. It's and so he was like, oh, I'm seeing ghosts. Like, I that always drove me crazy. But Sam Darnold has been elite, obviously. I mean, it's just obvious. There's a few things that I want to talk about here. First, let's just start with the bottom line. Darnold 6 in MVP odds after a 4-touchdown game. Drives me absolutely positively insane. So you're telling me that he's been top in the NFL over these last 2 years, by the way, as you can see, which we'll go over that as well. But especially this season, and he's 6th? He's 6th in MVP odds. I could understand if the Seahawks had this dominant running back, because it seems like a dominant running back takes away from how much credit we give a quarterback. And now Jackson Smith and Jigba, balling. But Sam Darnold's also a huge reason for that. It is always a little bit difficult to separate receiver and quarterback. It's not the easiest thing to do. And I always point out that Tyreek Hill actually had better numbers with Tua than Mahomes, right? It's not to say that Mahomes obviously is an elite, and it's not to say that Mahomes didn't help contribute to Tyreek Hill being great, right? Like, it's just, it's an incredibly important relationship between the two of them. But, like, Sam Darnold continues to just get no respect in that regard. And it does. It drives me insane. And the fact that Colin has to talk about New York and it's just like, who cares? At this point, seriously, I don't even remember what year that was exactly. I don't remember what I was doing with my life. I don't remember who was on that team. I don't remember who the coaching staff was. Who was he throwing to? I don't remember any of that stuff. I don't remember because it doesn't matter. I don't care. It does not matter. And the fact that every time we talk about Sam Darnold, that it always has to be through that lens, it's just crazy to me. Now, Daniel Jones played great in that because he was talking about Baker, Daniel Jones, and Sam. And like, Daniel Jones played awesome in that game against the Minnesota Vikings. He was the leading rusher. He threw for, I think, I don't forget exactly what the number was, but I actually went through it because someone said, like, oh, Daniel Jones has never really done anything in the playoffs. And I'm like, yeah, he did. Like, he played great against the Minnesota Vikings, who were a top team that year. And he had Saquon Barkley, but Saquon Barkley wasn't the leading rusher in that game. It was Daniel Jones. So that tells you something. And Baker Mayfield won. Baker Mayfield played well with the Cleveland Browns, no doubt. That playoff win, I have a separate clip highlighting how crazy of a playoff game that really was and how much of a free fall. I mean, like, Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers, like, literally turned the ball over just an insane amount of times. It was just turnover. I think the first snap of the game went over Ben Roethlisberger's head. Like, it was just an insane game. It wasn't like, Baker Mayfield just rising to the occasion. And if anything, his game against the Chiefs was a little bit more impressive than the win over the Steelers. But that's a different story. But it's funny to say that people gave up on Sam Darnold, and I think that's a fair assessment, except for the coaches that know anything about anything, especially the coaches that actually know quarterback play, like Shanahan and Kevin O'Connell. Okay, Shanahan's like, I want Sam Darnold to be my quarterback, and I want him to be my backup quarterback for a quarterback who's coming off of an arm injury, where I know there's a real chance I'm going to need to use a backup quarterback here. That, to me, is one of the biggest votes of confidences you could ever have, without a doubt. And then Kevin O'Connell's like, we just drafted some young, like, I think at that point he was like 21. Like, we just drafted some incredibly young quarterback who's really legitimately going to need to be developed. We want Sam Darnold. And Kevin O'Connell knew the type of roster. He saw the success that he had with Kirk Cousins and whatnot, and they did it. Kevin O'Connell also wanted Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones obviously is now balling. So, like, that follow what the other great coaches who know football, watch their decisions. Don't get lost in what other random people say, whether it's the comment section, whether it's me, whether it's the media. Like, just follow what the coaches who actually know way more than you or I. Like, watch their decisions. Their decisions are a lot more educated and come from a lot more experience than me. That's for sure. And so Sam Darnold is an elite quarterback. Listen, do I know that he's going to ball out in the playoffs? Do I know that he's going to win Super Bowls and MVPs? No, but we don't have to constantly guard our views and our perception of how great or not great Sam Darnold is. We've seen Matthew Stafford fail spectacularly. We've seen Lamar Jackson fail spectacularly. We've seen Patrick Mahomes fail spectacularly. Josh Allen, we've seen them all fail at whether a regular season game, in the playoffs, wherever. We've seen it happen so many times. It's not like it's a one-off. It happens a chunk of times. And yet we still believe that those quarterbacks are all great, that those quarterbacks are special, that those quarterbacks are elite, etc., etc. And Sam, we don't constantly have to watch Sam and just be like, when he plays great, we're like, yeah, he's kind of on a streak now. And then if he has a bad game, we're like, that's the real Sam. That's actually who Sam is. We don't have to keep doing that. He's given us enough now. And look at this. The last 2 seasons, first in wins, third in passing yards, first in big pass plays, fourth in passing touchdowns, fifth in passer rating. I've gone through, I've shown you the numbers, his deep ball stats, his, any of the other advanced analytics. He's been spectacular. He's been awesome. He's been incredible. And the Seahawks know it. And now they got him out on a discount too, relative to the numbers that he's putting up. And it's amazing. It's awesome. I mean, honestly, it's amazing to see. It really is. And now the Seahawks got him another piece to work with on offense. Are you kidding me? The best deep ball passer, you got him another deep ball threat. You're going to now make things a little bit easier for Jackson Smith and Jigba too now? Oh my gosh. Especially if Cooper Kupp can kind of stay healthy, or also just take off some of the burden off of him as well. Use him as a more third or fourth option when you're factoring in, running backs, tight ends, and whatnot. That's pretty great. If you can start winning games and you don't really need much out of Cooper Kupp, and you get to kind of just really just use him when a team is least suspecting it, and just rely on his greatness and his veteranship and his understanding of, how to play winning football, obviously winning a Super Bowl, also, in some of these gotta have it moments, especially in a playoff game, that you can still rely on a Cooper Kupp. You know he can handle the moment. You know he's ready for it. Man, as long as that defense doesn't just randomly decide to collapse and be terrible. As long as they just don't play like they played against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you're in business. You're in business. So it's just so great to see. But it is fascinating to me that every time we still talk about Sam, it's through this like just tinted lens of who Sam is. And because of that, we then have this tinted lens of who we believe the Seattle Seahawks are. And it's just, I find it frustrating. I find it fascinating. I'm ready to move on from it, but it doesn't seem like we're going to this season. Like it just is what it is. And so kind of lean into it, I suppose. But the Seahawks are for real. Sam Darnold is for real. The coaching staff is for real. And they're showing it with not only their play, but then also the front office decisions that they're making. So, yeah, man, I'm all for it. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Seattle Seahawks and Sam Darnold? How do you feel about getting Sam another piece to work with? How do you feel about the Seahawks' true potential this season in terms of what they can accomplish? Super Bowl. What do you think a realistic expectation is? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.